He is moved down a little bit.
Okay. He was right in front blocking our sidewalk and he intimidated these two ladies here.
Okay.
But when he starts harassing our customers.
Exactly. That's unacceptable. He was out there recording kids.
Seriously?
4, 5, 6-year-olds. They're here, and we're going to see what we can do about this issue. We're about to contact the district attorney's office.
Simply because my son wants to do a news story about the card catalog. Because she called the cops on us for filming outside. We wanted to see how our public servants would act if we went inside. We make sure I am right about the legality of it, and we take our cameras inside to video his news story. Access was closed to most of the library for us. The doors to the workshop and children's library were shut and locked. This is a major fire hazard and a form of kidnapping. She doesn't have the right to lock us out of places that the public is allowed to go. Tanya Rich then breaks the rule she is so hell-bent on me following. She films me. The cops are called again, and I am told that I am allowed to do what I am doing. And they think she understands that now. I leave after the cops leave, and we go home. The next day, the husband of Tania Rich, James Rich, shows up at my wife's place of work and threatens her. The police don't care, and they do nothing. My wife calls me after James Rich leaves her work. I show up, and everything is already done. I get told what happens, and my 10-year-old son and I go to the library. When we walk in, we are immediately accosted by James Rich. He's yelling at my son and me for being losers who walk around the library. He and his wife try to quickly go and shut and lock the doors to my son of the areas of the library. They take me to the We all then start walking back to the main library. James and Tanya Rich are in front of me at this point. Tanya Rich goes to the children's library door.
She didn't even notice the other side of my side. She just seen the cop part.
James Rich then stands in
She'd be appalled by the other side.
Blocks it with his body and says, "Since this is America, we can just do what we want. I'm going to stand here and block you." I tell him that is not legal and it is kidnapping. He then says, "Watch me." As soon as he says that, I push past her with my body, keeping my hands off him. He pushes me while yelling, "You're assaulting me! You're assaulting me!" He yells this with every push. After he finally stops pushing me into his wife, the wall, and other patrons, he looks at me and says, "You're not getting into that main library." I lean forward a little and simply say, "Watch me." At this point, James Rich grabs me by the beard and yanks down so hard he rips half the hairs out of my face. I respond with a quick right hook to the side of his temple. He started to fall and grabbed my arm for support. This pulled me down to the ground, exposing my ass to the whole library. To get him to let go, I have to punch him. As soon as he lets me go, I stand up and pull my pants up. I then place my hands in the air and start to scream at him, "What in the fuck is your goddamn problem? What the fuck? Call the fucking cops right fucking now." I only called the cops to get a report of what happened. I do not press charges. Now at this point, I would like to point out a few things. One, Tania Rich has shared my personal information, my wife's personal information, and my son's personal information. That is a crime.
Oh no, there's food, Minner. You come here.
The cops did nothing about James Rich showing up at my wife's place of work and threatening her. 3, they charged me with what they should have charged James Rich with. The fourth and final point is if they are willing to lie, cheat, and steal because I practiced my rights. What are they willing to do to you when they don't like something you are doing? All I did was what I was legally allowed to do. They lied and made up rules just for me. Then when I have the balls to show them they are wrong, they bring out the big guns. The pussies are known as Chief of Police Robert Ed Byrum, Sergeant Franco number 807, Officer Cannon number 815, and the cream of the shit crop Officer Dowell number 816. Officer Dowell was held back by...
Is he still out there?
He is moved down a little bit.
Okay. He was right in front blocking our sidewalk and he intimidated these two ladies here.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, yeah.
Yeah, he's been back in front of the store a couple times.
Okay. I got an officer coming with some forms. I just want to get some statements on what he was doing and stuff.
Sure.
Since he was intimidating them, and then we're going to go address the issue.
Are these two ladies
Okay.
here?
I hate to interrupt that pretty artwork, but...
Statement of Melissa Buckley. On February, 26 way to third generations to paint. Man was intimidating when on way in door. Made me very uncomfortable, and my friend. When we came in told shop owner. Sign said, "Shitwater fuck police." And had recording playing and also followed us from our parking spot to the storefront.
So, this is just... Yeah, okay.
He's been there, I was a cop for 28 years.
Oh, really? Okay. So, where at?
In Vermont.
Okay. Well, he is a
Frequent flyer.
Yes.
Statement of Ann Bandy on February 26th, 2025. At approximately 11:50 hours, I was walking to go into third generation shop, and there was a man and a woman with dog. The man had a very vulgar audio playing using foul language. He was holding a sign that stated something to the effect of "fuck the shit water cops," and the other side said something like "cunt lies in court." When I first arrived in my car, they were on the Regions Bank corner, and then they moved to in front of the store we were going to. I did talk to the woman and pet her dog. I started to hear the content of the audio and realized I wasn't wanting to stay near him. His statement and body language was very imitating.
We get a lot of calls on him. I have a pen right here now. And then, do you need one also? Already.
Not unless you want it.
I'm sure the way that looks, I'm sure it'd be pretty. Definitely better than my handwriting. And the top information, just name and date of birth and anything more that you can. And then he actually had a sign about me right over here a couple months ago. And my last name's Franco. Well, if you can imagine a cuss word that starts with an F and ends with an O, he had Sergeant. So
Yeah. We haven't seen him in a long time, but I know he was out here a
Yep.
while ago.
Yeah.
But when he starts harassing our customers,
Exactly. That's unacceptable. This is what he put on his YouTube video. This is the transcript.
People are surprised though when they're finding out that this is going out there elementary school.
Yeah, he was out there recording kids,
seriously,
4, 5, 6-year-olds, and we banned him, and he's upset about it. But I know if I had children, I would not want my children.
no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good. How are you?
I don't want to give him publicity, but he has a YouTube video, and it's actually about me and Chief are in it. That's the first time I've ever been on a YouTube video. Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
All right. Thank
We'll
you so
make
much.
sure you're right there here, and we're going to see what we can do about this issue. We're about to contact the district attorney's office.
right.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yep, y'all have a good day. Yep.
On February 2006, 2025, I, Sergeant Franco, responded to Three Generations Art Studio in reference to a male who was protesting and began to be loud and vulgar on the sidewalk in front of the business. We were aware of the male and were letting him protest until he began being a nuisance to the public, causing them to contact us. We had spoken to Mr. Gehring earlier in the day, as well as the day prior, due to Mr. Gehring coming in to ask if his ban from Sweetwater Primary School was going to be enforced, in which he was advised that it was going to be enforced if he violated it. Mr. Gehring had been banned from Sweetwater Primary School due to him going to the school and recording young children, which made parents and staff uncomfortable, and that is what triggered Mr. Gehring to begin his protesting. Upon arrival, I made contact with an employee with Three Generations who advised that 2 of her customers, identified as Miss Melissa Buckley and Miss Ann Bandy, whom felt intimidated by the protester, identified as Mr. Richard Gehring, due to Mr. Gehring's vulgar actions. I then got a statement from each female in which Miss Buckley advised,
On February 26 way to third generations to paint. Man was intimidating when on way in door, made me very uncomfortable, and my friend. When we came in told shop owner. Sign said, shit water fuck police. And had recording playing and also followed us from our parking spot to the storefront.
Miss Bandy also made a statement in which she stated,
On February 26th, 2025, at approximately 11:50 hours, I was walking to go into third generation shop, and there was a man and a woman with dog. The man had a very vulgar audio playing using foul language. He was holding a sign that stated something to the effect of "fuck the shit water cops," and the other side said something like "cunt lies in court." When I first arrived in my car, they were on the Regions Bank corner, and then they moved to in front of the store we were going to. I did talk to the woman and pet her dog. I started to hear the content of the audio and realized I wasn't wanting to stay near him. His statement and body language was very imitating.
I then contacted the district attorney's office and was advised that due to the call for service and 2 citizen complaints and Mr. Gehring's behavior, to tell Mr. Gehring to move along, and a refusal to do so would result in arrest. I then went to make contact with Mr. Gehring, and prior to speaking to him, I spoke to 2 bystanders who advised that the language was terrible on Mr. Gehring's sign. I then made contact with Mr. Gehring, whom I advised his need to disperse due to his behavior and disturbing the peace in which he advised that he was not going to. I then placed Mr. Gehring into custody and walked him to my vehicle. While Mr. Gehring continued to walk, he continued with his cuss words and yelling in the public view. While placing him into my vehicle, a citizen drove by thanking us for arresting the male. Mr. Gehring was then transported to the Monroe County Justice Center without further incident. This did occur in the city of Sweetwater in Monroe County, Tennessee.
And Bandy said that on the day in question, she and her friend Melissa Buckley had gone downtown in Sweetwater, TN, to go to the ceramic place, 3 Generations Art Studio. She confirmed that she had seen Mr. Gehring on the street with his sign and his speaker, and added that he had cameras with him as well. Miss Bandy stated it was the first time that she had ever encountered Mr. Gehring and that she had never seen him before. She said her first impression of Mr. Gehring was that there was possibly something wrong with him. She referenced that she thought he was either mentally challenged and/or he thinks he's been unjustly accused of something. She said there was a woman outside who had a little dog, and that she and her husband stopped and petted the animal because they stops for every dog we see. She said that she stopped to talk to the woman and was somewhat upset because of the condition of the dog, but noted it had on a little jacket. Miss Bandy said she at that time heard what was going on, referring to the content from Mr. Gehring's speakers. She said she asked if she could come into the shop so they wouldn't have to sit there and listen to it anymore. She said that the shop wasn't open, but someone was inside. Miss Bandy then added that she was a cop for 28 years. I had enough of this crap. I'm retired, and I don't want to hear it anymore. When asked, she said she was in law enforcement in Vermont. She said she didn't know a lot of people in that area, and that they had pulled into the parking lot with her friend, and they were in the Beetle, referencing the Volkswagen. She said they had pulled in and were kind of watching him because he was on the corner by the bank. She said that he was standing there by the bank, and then he came over. When asked, she said he did not speak to them or try. Said that she avoided eye contact and didn't want to engage with him. She agreed that he was a big guy, but said that the beard and tattoos didn't bother her, and that she is not a little girl. She said he himself was not an issue for her, but it was the information that was coming out of the speaker, and she was concerned about his mental health. When asked, she said that she had no idea that the woman and the little dog were with Mr. Gehring at the time. When asked how the police got involved, Miss Bandy said that when she went inside the store, a lady working in the store said that Mr. Gehring had a restraining order against him and wasn't supposed to be out there, so she had called the police. She said afterwards the police came down and talked to everyone, and that she wrote out her statement for them. She said, "I know how to do that." When asked, she said that no one had spoken to her since that day about this prior to us coming by, and that she had not been as of yet subpoenaed. She said that Mr. Gehring had been about as close to her as we were at the time of this interview, approximately 2 to 3 feet. She said that when she and her friend Melissa had moved toward the doors away from the little bench, she became uncomfortable with Mr. Gehring as he was right behind her where he was standing. She said that she made it a point not to turn her back to him. She said that her friend Melissa was also a witness to the encounter. Miss Bandy said that at this point, the gentleman who was with her, seated on the bench close by us in the gazebo, was Melissa's husband. Miss Bandy said that Melissa and her husband were staying with them at their house right now because they were having an issue with their camper. She said that Melissa's experience was the same as hers, and there was not a separate encounter other than Melissa did not pet the dog. Miss Bandy said, "Based on my experience, there was a mental health issue there." Miss Bandy said that she and her friend did not request that the police be called, but that the lady inside the store opted to do so herself. She didn't know who the woman was that made the phone call, but thought she may have been the owner. She couldn't say for sure, and didn't know if she possibly just worked there. She said she didn't know if she knocked or not, or if they just opened the door and let her in. She said the door may have been open, and she may have just let herself in, but she could not remember. When asked, Miss Bandy said that the recording being used by Mr. Gehring was loud and clear, and certainly loud enough to be heard by anybody passing by. She recalled that there was music coming from the gazebo, but whether you could hear the music over the recording or not depended upon where you were. She added that he had F-bombs coming out and there were kids walking by, and she could consider it inappropriate. At this time in our interview, a car was pulling down the roadway, and she said, "That is Melissa." She said that Melissa had groceries in the car, but she would see if she could stop and talk to us. Melissa Buckley joined us at the table, and we reintroduced ourselves. Miss Buckley said it made her feel weird because he kind of followed us from where our parking was to the ceramic shop. Said she didn't know exactly what he was doing, but it felt like he was following them. She said that Mr. Gehring didn't say anything to her personally. She referenced the speaker he had on and the foul language, making her feel uncomfortable. She added that there were kids walking down the street with their parents as well. When asked, she said he didn't say anything to her or do anything to her. She said it was the following that made her feel uncomfortable. She agreed that after they went into the store is when the employee called the police. She said after the police showed up, they both spoke to the police and each filled out a statement. Both Miss Buckley and Miss Bandy said that Mr. Gehring did not stop them from doing anything they were trying to do. When asked, Miss Buckley said she did not know, nor had she ever seen Mr. Gehring before. Miss Buckley said she did not know that the woman with the dog and Mr. Gehring were together until after it was over, and they saw her leave with the dog and the cameras. Miss Buckley said she didn't know if the woman inside the store was the owner or the manager, and didn't know her personally. She did, however, say that they were not the only ones who came into the store, and there was another person who came into the store that complained about Mr. Gehring. She said this was why the store person called the police. She did not know whether the police spoke with the other person or not. When asked about the store person calling the police, Miss Bandy stated that she thought that the woman in the store had called 2 or 3 times, and Miss Buckley agreed. They said the store person was on the phone when they came in initially. According to both, the store person was on the phone calling the police before they ever came into the store and made contact with her. After this, they said that Mr. Gehring walked away, but then walked back to the front of the store again. It was at this point they said that the other person came in and complained. They said the other person was a woman. When asked if they would be compelled to have called the police themselves, they responded affirmatively and said that they would have probably done it at the point where they noticed families encountering the inappropriate and foul language. When asked for the description of the person who was working at the ceramic store at the time and made the phone calls, they described an older female with blonde hair in her 60s. They both said that they were there when Mr. Gehring was arrested, but they were inside the store and they weren't particularly watching. We concluded by thanking them and expressing that we didn't anticipate that there would be any further need for us to contact them or need for them to see us again unless it was in the event that Mr. Gehring went to court and they came to testify. Miss Bandy said she didn't have any intention of being in court unless they subpoenaed her. At this point, we discontinued the contact and left the area. Miss Kelly advised that she was the person who had called the police on the date Mr. Gehring was arrested. She said that Mr. Gehring was outside the store, and they were not open yet, but 2 of her customers knocked on the door and asked if they could come in and complained that Mr. Gehring was harassing them. I provided her with my card, at which point she said she didn't know what had happened because she was inside the store. She said the customers came in and told her, so she called the cops. When asked if she had had problems with Mr. Gehring in the past, Miss Kelly said that Mr. Gehring had been outside before, but he had not had problems with him personally. She did quickly add that he does block the sidewalk, which he is not allowed to do. She said she knows his signs are a little offensive, even though she didn't actually read them, but she has heard complaints about them. We asked if she could hear him when he was out there. She said, "No, but I have the radio on really loud." She said this happened around noon, right before they opened, and the ladies were outside waiting to get in, so she opened the door and let them in. There were 2 older ladies seated at a table during this conversation who did not identify themselves, but were employees who said the signs were very vulgar. When asked if they were there that day, they said that they came in right after. When asked if he was loud, they said that they didn't hear anything. They had only read the sign, which they referred to as vulgar. We asked Miss Kelly if it was only the 2 ladies, or if there was anybody else that came in, and she said there were only the 2 ladies that complained to her. When asked if she had noticed Mr. Gehring bothering or threatening anyone outside the shop, she said that she was inside working and had not really noticed. She said that the police had interviewed the 2 ladies and had them fill out statements, but that they did not interview her because Mr. Gehring did not harass her, and she wasn't outside. She said she had not seen him since the arrest. She said she had seen him in front of the store before doing something similar, but she didn't receive any complaints, so she didn't call the police.
Notice how everyone lied. Not only did they lie, but they lied about each other. Ann and Melissa say that Jennifer Kelly was on the phone with the cops when they walked in. while Jennifer Kelly said that Ann and Melissa told her that they were being harassed, and that is why she called the cops. Ann and Melissa state that they had to get away from my audio, but they didn't go into the store until my wife left with the dog, then they just walked into the store. Jennifer Kelly said the ladies were not going to get in. The only interaction I had with Ann and Melissa was pointing out a trash can to Ann while she carried an empty beer bottle she picked up off the ground. They arrived at the corner a full minute and a half after me. So according to Ann and Melissa, two women whom I do not know, I saw them pull up in their car, had a psychic feeling that they wanted to go to 3 Generations Art Studio, went to where they would be in the future, just so I could follow and harass them by standing in one place and having no contact with them whatsoever. They keep talking about how I am behind them and following them, but I never move. And Bandy said, based on my experience, there was a mental health issue there, and I agree. And Bandy, Melissa Buckley, and Jennifer Kelly are mentally unstable. These 3 women in the Sweetwater Police all work together to keep me from telling people that you are allowed to say cuss words in public. They violated my First Amendment rights and my Fourth Amendment rights because of cuss words on a sign. Then we have Franco's lies. First, the lie that I was being loud and vulgar. Neither of those are against the law at noon. Also, I made a point of not saying anything to anyone that day. Sometimes I would say something quietly to my wife or the tall guy, but that is it. Franco states that they were letting him protest. Nobody America lets me protest. You have nothing to do with it. Franco was told to tell Mr. Gehring to move along, and a refusal to do so would result in arrest. I was never told I would be arrested. Hell, I was never told I was arrested. I was told to move. I asked why. I was told that I wasn't going to be told why. I was then asked if I was going to move. I stated, in free America, no. Then I was arrested. The biggest one is that I went to the Sweetwater Primary School and filmed little kids. Let's break down how the Chief of Police, Robert Ed Byrum, and Franco go around insinuating to the public that I am a pedophile out here filming little kids. My child wanted to get his teacher's gifts for Christmas. So we did. Not only that, but we also got gifts for the school staff at Brown Intermediate. This cost a few $100s. We wrapped them and took them to the school. Because this town has 5 schools, my son had been in 3 of them. At Bia's, there was no issue. We gave the gifts. My son has a recorded memory that will last forever. Keep in mind, I have videos of my son at school going all the way back to kindergarten. I have recorded at Sweetwater Primary School many times. At Sweetwater Elementary, we were told the teachers were too busy to see us, and we left. One of those teachers got a gift only because another teacher just told us their home address. That is how dangerous I am. Other teachers give me the home addresses of teachers. Then we went to Sweetwater Primary School to give his kindergarten teacher and first grade teacher their gifts. It was cold, and we were told to wait outside on the sidewalk. After 10 minutes of waiting, the principal all of a sudden had a problem with me videoing a moment with my son. Keep in mind, this is at about 7:10 a.m. School is open but hasn't started. I haven't just walked in and gone into classrooms. I am just there to let my son give a teacher a hat with his name on it, record the sweet moment, and then quickly take my son to school. All I ever try to do in this stupid backwoods town is what I am legally allowed to do. All I want is to be left alone and for my public servants to understand how to do their jobs. Instead, I am being defamed and slandered, banned from public, arrested, ticketed, harassed, and assaulted. Enough is fucking enough. I have tried to just be the nice guy. I try to take the high road. I may get a little loud and mouthy, but that is because my First Amendment rights are being threatened by the city of Sweetwater. My son's freedom of the press has been threatened by the city of Sweetwater. My Fourth Amendment rights are being threatened by the city of Sweetwater. My physical person is being threatened by the city of Sweetwater.
hazardous or physically offensive condition by any act that serves no legitimate purpose. Unreasonable noise that prevents others from lawful activities. Speech is not unreasonable.